Welcome back. You know, we've. I feel like Matt, we've met at many places in your career and in your life. I've known and spoken to Matt Hardy, then Broken Matt Hardy, then once again Matt Hardy, and now Woken Matt Hardy. Do you feel like the place that you're at is the supreme being of Matt Hardy?
Well, of course, brother Sam Roberts. We've known each other. We're quite kindred souls. We've known each other for many, many thousands of years. Our souls have traveled together. We have kept track of each other throughout time. And yes, it was very delightful to be speaking to you again today, indeed.
So I didn't realize our souls had traveled together for that long.
Oh, of course. You're not aware. I mean, you have not broken down the barriers of your mind to allow your mind to be woken yet. You know, but I would imagine one day you will. Most souls usually travel, over the course of 500-600 years. Usually, at some point, they reach that where they're able to follow the trail throughout different human vastas. Yes, we have. We're neighbors in Portland, Oregon. It was almost 277 years ago.
Wow, and we must have gotten along well.
Oh, of course, yes, of course. Oh. We're kindred souls. We've always been.
Good. So, what is life like in the environment that you're in now for a Woken Matt Hardy? I mean, I don't think the WWE has seen anything like yourself in quite some time, if ever. I mean, I would say that the WWE has never seen anything like Woken Matt, but you probably have a lot more knowledge than me about time as long as it's existed. But in this year, in 2018, what is life like for Woken Matt Hardy being in the WWE?
Of course, they haven't seen anything like it, and they have only seen a sliver of the things that they're going to see. And one thing I think that is very beneficial for all of the WWE universe, Brother Sam, is that we do this thing in a very specific way, because the Woken universe is such a vast, enormous concept. You have to remember, the people who do, like you're a very, very intelligent being.
Right.
People who know the backstory, before my condition was subdued at WrestleMania 33, when my condition first started and the barriers of my mind were broken, everything that was involved in that universe. And I think this universe will still come to be, but there are so many WWE fans that are younger children, younger vessels, or people that just primarily watch the WWE. So I think they begin by knowing Woken Matt Hardy, and that's a great thing. And then as time goes on, we can continually add more and more to the fray, and then we'll be able to understand, they will be able to digest it at that time. So I am actually very happy of the way my Woken wisdom is being presented as of right now.
Are you surprised based on, because you're right, that the WWE audience is a younger audience. There's just more people. There's a lot of people who haven't seen anything like this before and might not expect it out of Matt Hardy. Are you surprised or happy at the response that you've gotten?
Yes, I mean, I am. I am very happy with the amount of fans that do know the backstory of my past, and the fans that don't, I'm very happy and ecstatic with how they are slowly coming around and learning and actually accepting and embracing the new me. I mean, for a minute there, some people, even that absolute mule Michael Cole, thought I was having a breakdown, but it wasn't a breakdown. It wasn't that I was going crazy or insane. I was actually just becoming more. Once again, I was becoming more than just a mortal vessel, or more than just a human being. And as you know from my backstory about the past and some of the things I've done, that is absolutely the case.
Yeah, I mean, do you find it insulting that at first people look at this as you have lost it, you've gone crazy, when in actuality you view this as evolution?
Well, of course, but it's also very difficult because they have these wee little portions of their mind that they use. They only use 7 or 8%, so I can't expect them to comprehend things on this vast level that I am able to. So that's understood, and I do have a lot of. I am a benevolent, great leader in the Great War. And as a benevolent general, I have patience and understanding for these people, and I will make sure that they slowly, but they surely understand my condition. And if they don't, then they will be sentenced to tribulation.
Right. Who are you? Who is the Great War against?
The Great War is the oldest war that has ever existed, that has raged on for eternity, and it is light versus dark. There are always different people that stand in front of my path, being the representation of the dark. And currently, you know who it is. It's that grotesque horrendous, treacherous, nefarious, putrid, vile Sister Abigail and Bray Wyatt.
Right. Now, you said a minute ago that most of us use 7% of our brain. Have you been tested to find out how much, now that you're woken, how much of your brain you're actually capable of using?
I do not have to be tested. I just know automatically. I'm using 51%.
Wow.
It increases yearly.
It increases year? Okay, so there's some kind of annual, and is it a single percentage, or does it go up like the first year it's 2%, the next year it's 4%?
No, every 100 years it's 1%.
Oh, I see. So every century.
So it's like a point 0.01 every year.
Oh, I see. So there is. I mean, that is still a pretty significant difference based on the fact that we're only using 7%. I noticed on Raw this week or last week that your theme music debuted for the WWE Universe. It was new. It was the piano. It was kind of what some of us who might know your history would hope to get to, and we got to it. Who was the performer behind your entrance music that we heard for the first time?
I could tell you that information. Mm-hmm. I could divulge that information right now, but I have been asked to keep it secret. But speaking of that, we have some other things we're working on. Actually, you're very familiar with Queen Rebecca's work, right?
Of course.
I have a very special rendition I would like to offer you. Queen Rebecca, please.
Oh my gosh.
We must talk about the fate of Bray Wyatt. Just for 1 second. Hopefully you can hear this in the background.
I can.
This is the beautiful Queen Rebecca, and she is playing the Obsolete Suite. And the reason why is because I have sentenced Bray Wyatt to deletion. And as you know, he'll fade away and classify himself as obsolete. Anytime her fingers touch the keys of ivory, of Negro and Blanca, it's so beautiful. It's absolutely angelic. Yes! Thank you, Queen Rebecca. I cannot wait to have you perform my entrance music live one day soon.
That sounds
Thank you, Sam. I hope you appreciate that. I wouldn't do that for everyone, but we are kindred souls.
Yeah, no, I can tell that from the music, and not only do I appreciate that, but I feel like there is a certain strength that I felt I was drawing a certain strength from that. I feel like you felt you must have been drawing a certain strength from that, but at the same time, it felt like just in the melody of that music, it could be weaponized against enemies, for instance, Bray Wyatt.
Of course, yes. This soothing, angelic piano music often helps me feed off the crowd. You know, I absorb the energy, and I asked him. I said, "Feed me your energy," and it continually gives my vessel strength, and that is what I asked him to do.
Now, when we saw you return to WWE, of course, we were all very, very surprised at WrestleMania when you and your brother came out, and watching you and your brother in the WWE over the past several months has been a pretty big treat for a lot of us that didn't think it was going to happen. What is the status of your brother, whether he's Jeff or Brother Nero, and how does he feel about your Woken transformation?
Currently, his status, he had an injury, mm-hmm. and we had taken care of that, and we have now started to expedite it a little bit more because he has been soaking it in water from the Lake of Reincarnation, so it is healing it at a very rapid pace. Oh,
that's great. And I would imagine that when he returns, it would be as part of as part of your Woken universe, one of the Woken Warriors.
It will be very interesting when he returns. I actually think it would be beneficial to everyone in the WWE universe once again if he does return as the charismatic enigma Jeff Hardy, mm-hmm. and we would see the metamorphosis of him going back to Brother Nero if that's what he chooses to do. But as you know my history, you know my backstory. I had released him after I had to delete him and help rebuild him again from the ground up, from scratch. I made him into a greater being, and I have allowed him to choose his own destiny. If he returns to this plane known as WWE, whether he chooses to be the charismatic enigma Jeff Hardy, whether he chooses to be Brother Nero, whether he chooses to be Willow, whatever he chooses, I will support him in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and I would imagine that should God forbid, and I don't want to put negative energy out there, but should God forbid, at any moment, in the next even several years, you have to delete your brother Jeff again, I can only imagine that since you rebuilt him, that it would be much, much more difficult to delete that, wouldn't it?
Yes, I would. It would certainly be much more difficult because he has been rebuilt and he has been stronger and he's almost been rebuilt in my image. So it would be much more difficult. It almost brings me to the whole process that I'm thinking about in this current great war that I have ongoing with Bray Wyatt. It's like he is almost possessed. He contains this terrible Sister Abigail, and that is the nucleus of his evil, of his strength. So that is what I mainly have to focus on. Sister Abigail is the driving force that fuels him in his evil. And I feel like when I look at Bray Wyatt, there's something more to him. As we have known one another, myself and the Sister Abigail, for thousands and thousands of years, and she is the true root of evil. Bray, actually, I feel, contains some sort of light inside of him, but I must delete Sister Abigail for that to truly be exposed.
Wow. Okay, so the deletion that you want to get done is Sister Abigail, which is the evil inside. You want to bring Bray into the light. I would imagine this is a huge disadvantage for Bray Wyatt because it seems like in his career, every positive move that he has made has been based around a lot of confusion, people that don't quite understand what the motives or motivations for Bray Wyatt are, whereas it seems like you have figured out this entire Sister Abigail thing better than anybody I've heard.
Of course. I mean, I have dealt with Sister Abigail thousands of years ago in the same deal. Whenever she was dwelling within other vessels, there's something within Bray that has been compressed, and it is because of the notorious, disgusting, putrid, horrendous, grotesque Sister Abigail. She is the one that has been marked for deletion, and if Bray's vessel does not come along and is not trying to insist with this, then he must be deleted as well.
I see. Now, is there any potential of old favorites rearing their heads again? For instance, Vanguard 1, I think a lot of people are missing.
Of course. I almost wish we had used Vanguard 1 to connect on this phone call. We would never have been dropped like that was before, because Vanguard 1 has a superior technology.
Yeah, it's interesting that like you have the technology.
Vanguard 1 is still looming. Vanguard 1 is everywhere. He is still best friends with Senior Benjamin, and it is a little bit of a slow season because it is winter here, obviously, in North Carolina, so he doesn't have to do as much yard work as possible. But he is very, very well prepared to prepare the battlefield for massacre.
It really is good to know that Woken Matt and the Woken universe, it seems like you were all almost lying dormant until a threat came that you needed to be woken from, and when you were woken, the entire army comes with you, and I guess that threat was Bray Wyatt and Sister Abigail.
Well, the whole point was I had broken down the barriers of my mind, and I had become more. I had become magic. And then once I came back to the WWE and I entered that plane, the reception of returning home at WrestleMania 33 caused my condition to somewhat lay dormant. And then as time went on, it kept manifesting. And when I finally touched the consumer of terrestrial entities, Bray Wyatt, I felt the energy and the magic within Sister Abigail. And although it was black magic, it triggered my white magic. And then all of a sudden, I was woken. And then my magic came back full-fledged at 100%. So now that has happened, things are rapidly happening. They are rapidly manufacturing within me. They are changing. They are growing. I am garnering strength. I am garnering more magic as time goes on. And Sister Abigail, I owe her, I guess, a bit of gratitude for making me wake again. But with that same thing being said, she must be deleted.
When you are woken, is your mind in a state of chaos or clarity? How does your brain work? Being from a place, I mean, the transition only happened, weeks ago from a spot that you were in before, where you were Matt Hardy, into this woken state. Like, how does your brain feel right now?
It feels amazing.
Yeah.
It is absolutely never turns off. I once I've got woke, I stay woke. My brain never goes to sleep. There might be times where my mortal vessel lays down and sleeps just a little bit here, but my mind, it never sleeps. It is constantly going. It is constantly becoming stronger. It is constantly becoming more intelligent. I don't sleep. I just dream. My mind lays there and it envisions things. It's these premonitions. It just dreams. It never cuts off. It just constantly is accelerating.
So your vessel will wake up in the morning with all the answers that you were looking for the night before because your brain had kept working.
Of course, yes,
Wow.
you understand.
Wow. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it's something that I think we should all strive for, and probably why Woken Matt has become such a phenomenon with the WWE Universe. So, for the first time in many, many years, as of this week, Matt Hardy is going to be available in WWE 2K18 as a downloadable character. This has to be, I would imagine, a thrill for you in the sense that so many Woken warriors are going to be able to live out their Woken Matt Hardy fantasies with the help of 2K18.
This is absolutely correct, Brother Sam.
Do you play video games?
It's quite often, as you know, I stay very, very busy.
Yeah.
Obviously, I have two of the greatest souls known to mankind in King Maxwell and Lord Wolfgang.
Sure.
But now their vessels are in the infantile stages, so they are quite a handful to take care of.
Right.
So no, I do not play video games, but I quite often make an exception when it comes to a special occasion like this. I'm going to have these characters of Matt Hardy and Brother Nero and the Express that Rock and Rolls and Beth Phoenix, and I'm going to indulge in playing in this video game some more because I want to experience the same thing that all my tremendous Woken warriors will be able to experience on Tuesday.
And young Wolfgang may be too young to fully appreciate it, but I would imagine King Maxwell would get quite a thrill seeing you portrayed in a video game.
Oh, I'm sure, yes. King Maxwell will find it absolutely exhilarating.
Yeah.
King Maxwell is quite the handful. I must tell you, on New Year's Day when I was just at the Monday Night Raw,
Right.
The evening when we were there, Queen Rebecca and King Maxwell were there sitting in the crowd watching, and Bray Wyatt was there, and I showed up on the screen, and King Maxwell, my Queen Rebecca, had to physically restrain him. He attempted to hit the ring because he was going to delete Bray Wyatt. You cannot rush. You have to move your chest. You have to move your chess pieces one at a time, King Maxwell. That is something I have to work on and teach him patience. Patience is paramount, especially when you're in such a young vessel like his.
Right, but he's ready to go to war now.
Oh, he was ready to go to war now, yes. And I said, patience is paramount, young soldier. Patience is paramount, young king.
As his vessel grows, is this life that you've led something that you would encourage King Maxwell to lead? Should that be something that he wants to do?
Of course, yes. I mean, if that is something he would like to do, he is actually quite advanced already in the professional wrestling game. As you know, he has endured a few matches. He has some televised wins.
Yeah.
He has a win over Rockstar Spud.
Right.
And he has a win over the Disco Inferno.
Right.
And he has very much mastered the leg drop and the splash, but I have to really work on him because he has tendencies, being a young man, he wants to be a spot monkey. And I cannot let him contract the spot monkey addiction because it is a bit hereditary. It does kind of run in our family a little bit. So I have to make sure to stay on him and make sure he gets back to basics, the fighting, the one-on-one combat that this pro wrestling is supposed to be.
Well, that goes to patient being paramount, right? The spot monkey itis does not. That comes from a lack of realizing that patience is the paramount element, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, it's very hard when you have these minds and these young vessels. Their soul gets so frustrated. Whenever I speak to King Maxwell's soul, he gets so frustrated with King Maxwell's young mind and his young vessel. But patience is paramount, and we will get him there. Yes, he is the greatest soul known to mankind. Of course, we will get him there.
So, should you be able to either free the vessel of Bray Wyatt of this hindrance known as Sister Abigail, or simply need to delete both of them in order to delete Sister Abigail? Is there anybody else on the horizon that you think you may need to go to war with, or are you locked into Sister Abigail at the moment?
Currently, I am locked into Sister Abigail, but there are a few beings around that I see have traces of magic in, which intrigue me, which make me think that I have to certainly keep Vanguard 1 monitoring their movement.
Well, yeah, because I guess you would have to figure out if it's white magic, and they would be one to join you, or black magic, and one that you would have to compete with, right?
Exactly.
Right. That makes sense to me. Well, look, I don't think I need to remind anybody, but I would encourage anybody, if you already have 2K18, then go ahead and download all of the new superstars that are available for that game. I will certainly be downloading it, so the Woken one will appear in my copy of WWE 2K18, as well as Brother Nero and everybody else available in that pack. If you don't have the game, it's easy to get, whether you're on PlayStation or Xbox. You can just buy it in those stores. You can get it on Nintendo Switch now. It's available across all platforms, and it's a really, really fun game, so I would recommend getting it. And if it's a special occasion enough, that Woken Matt, with everything that he has on his plate in this Woken War, will take some time out to celebrate and play this game, I think it's worth all of us giving it a shot.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you.
What a great wrap-up, Brother Sam. That was absolutely delightful.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate your time, and I'll see you soon. I'm truly enjoying watching the Woken War come to my Monday nights.
We certainly will, my friend. We are kindred souls.